Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Shaneria and this is Talk And Crime. Today's video is going to be a reaction video to a young lady's case by the name of Kanesha Spencer, age 38, and she was a mother of 5 children. Unfortunately, she lost her life by the hands of her husband, someone she thought would protect her from any harm's way. Now, Kenesha had a oldest daughter that also was a victim too. She wound up getting shot several times by the husband. Now, Kenesha's husband started to be controlling and just aggressive. And for some reason, he thought that she was cheating. But nevertheless, we're going to do this reaction video and see how this whole situation panned out. So stay tuned. Oh, and before I get started, you guys, I got this video on viral crimes. Now, this channel also kind of like mine's too. And it go over like domestic violence cases, like crime that's like horrific far as relationships.
This is the story of 38-year-old Kanesha Spencer, a mother of 5 who thought she met the love of her life in 40-year-old Sheron Lewis. The two had a whirlwind romance that would lead to marriage, but this fairy tale would turn into Kenesha's worst nightmare when during an argument, Sheron would shoot Kenesha 14 times, killing her, and would also shoot his stepdaughter multiple times in an attempt to end her life. What would make him brutally kill the woman who reportedly loved him and would do anything for him? And how could he also try to kill his stepdaughter, who embraced him as a part of their family? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Kanesha Camille Spencer, a resident of Lake Charles, Louisiana, was born in the humble town of Milk River, Clarendon, Jamaica. Raised by her mother, Kanesha grew up attending Milk River Christian School, absorbing the vibrant culture and spirit of her homeland. In 1993, seeking new horizons, she moved to the United States and enrolled at Polytechnical High School. Shortly after graduating, Kanesha chose a path of compassion, becoming a caregiver, a role that would define her in more ways than one. Kanesha's caring nature wasn't just a part of her professional life, it was her essence. Employed at Lake Charles Memorial Hospital, she was adored for her fun-loving spirit and her fierce advocacy for those she cared for. She wasn't just there to aid the sick, she was a defender, a friend, and a confidant to those in need. 1999 marked a significant year for Kanesha as she embraced motherhood with the birth of her daughter, Kendria, followed by 4 other children in the years to come. Motherhood was more than a role for Kanesha, it was her calling. Her children were her world, and she was their unwavering protector and provider. Beyond her family life, Kanesha was the heart and soul of every gathering. Known for her legendary get-togethers, an invitation to Kanesha's home meant an evening of hearty laughter, delicious crawfish fettuccine, and her signature Jell-O shots and tequila rose. Her home was a hub of joy and generosity, where no one left hungry or heavy-hearted. Kanesha found love with a 40-year-old man by the name of Sheron Lewis, and after 2 years together, he asked her to marry him. She believed she had found her soulmate. However, her oldest daughter Kendria wasn't immediately convinced. The moment Kendria met Sheron, Kendria's gut told her something was off. He gave her bad vibes. Despite her initial reluctance, Kendria grew to accept him, mainly because she saw how happy he made her mother. Kendria consistently showed him respect and kindness, putting her initial reservations aside. The couple appeared to be in love, but as Kanesha and Sheron's marriage progressed, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Sheron began to show signs of possessiveness, a need for control, and a propensity for anger, which started to shake the foundations of their relationship. January 5, 2022, would be a day that would turn Kanesha's world upside down. On this day, Kanesha and her husband Sheron got into a huge fight. Sheron had it in his head that Kanesha was cheating on him, which she denied. Fed up, she told him to leave. She was finally done with the relationship. But when Kanesha was walking back into the house, Sheron took out a gun and shot her in the back. He didn't stop there. He went inside and then started shooting at Kanesha's 22-year-old daughter, Kendria, hitting her several times in the stomach and multiple times in the legs. Sheron took things to a terrifying level in a fit of uncontrollable rage. He dragged Kanesha into her bedroom, and there, he didn't just shoot her once, but kept pulling the trigger, a shocking 14 times, while he yelled at her to die. After that horrific act, he didn't calm down. When he came out of the bedroom, he started kicking his
14
stepdaughter,
times.
Kendria,
Bruh,
in the side
14
with his
times.
boots, hitting her while she was down and hurting.
If you
And
got
as if
that
all
much
that wasn't
anger,
enough,
leave.
he threatened her in
Like,
the most horrifying
don't be
way,
with her.
telling her that if she wasn't
That
dead,
was
he'd
hate.
finish the job with a shot to the head. It was a downright brutal and heartless outburst, far from any sense of humanity. In a desperate move to survive, Sheron's
why?
stepdaughter played dead. Meanwhile, the younger
she's a
kids,
child.
just
She ain't
7,
done
8,
nothing to
and
you.
10 years old, were in their room, scared out of their minds, screaming and crying. Despite being shot several times herself, Kendria somehow found the strength to call 911 for help. The police got there and started knocking on the door, and that's when Sheron quickly hid the gun by the couch. Then, he dragged his stepdaughter into the room where Kenesha was. As she lay there, pretending to be dead, she heard her mom begging God to keep her alive, but in those final heartbreaking moments, her mom just fell to the ground and died. The police officer came in and Kendria grabbed his hand, asking him to help her. She was placed in the ambulance and rushed to the hospital where she spent 3 months fighting for her life. She was shot 5 times in the abdomen, multiple times in her leg and foot, and she had injuries to her head. Sadly, she was unable to attend her mother's funeral and was forced to watch her mom being buried on Zoom. She had to undergo bladder reconstruction as a result of the shots to her abdomen. She had her right leg amputated and had to attend physical therapy after her hospital stay and was fitted with a prosthetic leg. The grand jury indicted Sheron on charges of first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. After 35 minutes of deliberation, a Calcasieu Parish jury in January found Sheron guilty as charged in the shooting.
Lewis has been found guilty as charged of first-degree murder of his wife, attempted first-degree murder of her daughter, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
He got what he deserved. Justice was served.
Family members of Kanesha Spencer, who died, and her daughter, Kendria McGee, who survived the shooting a year ago in Iowa, were thrilled that Sheron Lewis stands convicted as charged and will likely spend the rest of his life in prison.
I'm happy. It's a relief that I finally could move on, that my mom got justice, that I got justice, and that he got what he deserved.
McGee was shot numerous times and spent 3 months in the hospital.
My stomach, I had to get it reconstructed, my bladder reconstructed. I lost my leg.
The 911 audio captured Lewis telling her after shooting her she better be dead when he returned or he'd shoot her in the head. Then he went on to fire more shots into her mother.
I played dead because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here today.
When the mother and daughter were shot, 3 of Peggy's young sisters were in the house and could be heard screaming and crying. Lead prosecutor Jacob Johnson was struck by the cruelty and says a first-degree murder conviction is appropriate.
In this case, given the severity of the crime, given the fact that 2 people were grievously attacked, we felt that the most severe crime charge was appropriate. We also do that in the event that the law changes in the future and second-degree murder somehow becomes eligible for parole. I want to protect victims against people who are extremely violent like Mr. Lewis.
Right. Just crazy, y'all. Crazy. So basically, I just feel like he got what he deserved. Like, Lewis got what he deserved. So basically, he just took it amongst himself when she didn't want to deal with the arguing. And 9 times out of 10, she didn't want to put up with it because her kids was in the house. She was just tired of it. Done with the arguing. Lewis could have easily got his stuff and just got the heck on. But instead, he wanted to shoot her. And might I add, he shot her several times while her children, not only the daughter that he shot, but her other younger children were in the house. Like, it's crazy how evil you can get, but easily tell a person that you love them. It doesn't make any sense. And for that girl, for her daughter, like, oh my God, it is so tragic that she had to experience that, not only seeing her mother unalive, but almost experiencing herself being unalive, having to get her stomach and other things rearranged, like a leg. She no longer have her leg, all because of the hate that this man literally gave to them when all he had to do was leave. He didn't trust her. He thought she was cheating. Pack your bags and leave. Like, it's crazy. And then they said that she had said that she was going to leave, but she turned back around, probably to get something, and that's when he shot her.
Lewis is to be formally sentenced March 22nd, though he'll receive automatic life in prison on the murder conviction.
He was sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder, 50 years in prison for attempted first-degree murder, and 15 years in prison for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Kendra survived being shot numerous times and has this advice for those living in volatile relationships.
Believe, don't think twice about it. Abuse in a relationship, domestic, is not okay, and don't ever make it okay. Leave when you see the signs.
Peggy says the violence erupted after her mother said she wanted him to leave. First Assistant DA Jacob Johnson agrees leaving is best if possible when they see controlling behavior. But leaving can be tricky, and Women's Shelter Director Kathy Manuel says, if possible, it should be carefully planned.
You should leave or get out of the situation, but you have to do it safely, because 75% of women are killed when they leave. So it's dangerous times.
Right.
But if there's danger and no time for planning, she says call 911.
When you leave, a lot of people think, I've got to get this together and that together. Not necessarily. Don't put your life at risk to get a piece of paper. We can get you a new ID. We can get you a copy of your birth certificate, things like that. There are those resources.
Not worth it.
Kendra called 911 even after being shot.
Kendra is now trying to piece her life back together after this traumatizing tragedy. She has been separated from her sisters who have went on to live somewhere else. She has plans to go to nursing school to become a registered nurse. The tragic story of Kanesha Spencer is a reminder that what begins as a dream can sometimes turn into the most harrowing of nightmares. She believed she had found her Prince Charming, a partner with whom to build a future and share a lifetime of joy. The love story she envisioned was one filled with happiness and the kind of love that fairy tales are made of. Yet, in a cruel twist of fate, the life she hoped for spiraled into terror, a living nightmare that no one should ever have to endure. Kanesha's life, so full of potential and care for others, was cut short in an act of senseless violence. Her story is a heart-wrenching testimony to the fact that the decision to end a relationship, to step away from love when it no longer serves or feels right, should never lead to violence. Love should be a bond of mutual respect, not a chain of possession. When someone decides they no longer want to continue together, it is not, and never can be, a justification for harm. If the day comes when someone chooses to walk a different path, it is a sign to let go, not to tighten one's grip. You cannot force someone to stay with you, and to attempt such as to undermine the very foundation of what healthy relationships are built on, freedom and respect. The end of a relationship, while painful, is not the end of the road. It is merely a turn in one's journey. My condolences to her friends and family. She should be here. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Rest in peace. So basically, as they say, it's not really safe to leave right then and there. But try to maintain enough to get out of there quickly. Your life can easily be taken from you. So it was stated that she asked him to leave or whatever, and the case might be she might left and then turned around and decided to come back. But either way, she was shot in the back first and then several times, dragged into a room, and then turned around. He kept shooting her daughter also, taking her daughter into the same room. Bruh, you gotta be pure evil to do something like this. Then the worst part is it was younger children in there screaming their lungs out because they are hearing and witnessing all this extra stuff, not even knowing what the heck you might do to them. It's crazy. This young lady was so brave. She was shot, witnessed her mother taking her last breath, And yet she still managed to get the energy and courage up to still call the police in the mix of pretending like she was deceased. It is disgraceful. It's just horrible for a person to have to experience that. And not only that, be brave in the midst of all of this stuff happening. You guys, we are going to continue to pray for this family, because even though they got justice, no words can basically take away the hurt and pain of these young ladies, especially with them being split up. It's just sad all the way around. So you guys, don't forget to like this video, comment, please share, because these videos can help people out. We're going to continue, like always, to pray for the family and friends on their journey of healing, and pray that this young lady overcome any obstacle put in her way. Because as we know and seen on this video, we have witnessed that she is able to do so. Because if anybody can get over something like this, well, I'm not going to say get over, but if anybody have the courage to still try to save her sibling's life and try to save her own life through all of this stuff, chaotic stuff that was going on, she is able to overcome any obstacle thrown at her. Baby girl, we're going to continue to pray for you, your sisters, and we're going to continue to pray for the journey that your family and friends need in this tragic event that happened to your mother. She did not deserve this. She was a beautiful young woman, and we hope and pray that y'all just keep strong, keep your mother memory alive. Peace.